Oh, it's almost too early for a story like this. This is what I woke up to. Look, Mondays are hard. Mondays are even harder when the first thing that you read in the news is about a janitor who was accused of contaminating food in a New Jersey school cafeteria. And that headline seems simple enough, but it's much worse than that. This is a story that will turn your guts inside out. And I hope that this story, as I give it to you today, makes you enraged, that you want to do something so that the children are protected going forward. Giovanni Impellizzeri, Elizabeth F. Moore School in the Upper Deerfield School District of New Jersey. This guy is a monster, and what he did was vile. And I would say almost equally as vile as how the school system handled it. I don't think they handled it good enough. And that makes me mad. They have to do better. This monster, Giovanni Impellizzeri, didn't just contaminate food in New Jersey school as the headlines like to portray it. No, this man wiped his genitalia on cafeteria utensils. He urinated in bowls. He took bread from hot dog buns and wiped it on his anus. He urinated inside of a beanbag. He cut a hole in a beanbag chair, stuck his willy inside and urinated into it. He then went and humped a safe pillow, whatever that is, in a library. And he put his fluids onto that pillow. He allegedly shit and the school taco meat, and it was fed to the children. He says, quotes, they gobbled that poo right up. Now put yourself in the parent's position. Your kid is going to this school and something like this happens and you don't hear about it for almost 5 days. And you hear about it by a robo phone call. Now, if you remember back in COVID, if a child sneezed, they shut it down, baby. Shut it down. Full contamination, decontamination, cleanup on aisle Elizabeth Moore School District. They came in there and they cleaned it all up. School was out for like 5 days for COVID. But when a man poops in the chili or in the taco meat, we're not going to just shut it down. So the officers in this case, and I've done a lot of research to try to figure it all out because I'm having a hard time getting my brain to wrap around all of this. And I find this from a Reddit thread and I backed it up with the probable cause affidavits. And so I really feel like this Reddit thread right here is credible information because it coincides with the probable cause affidavit. It's a very well written thread. This is on You Sailor Saint on the R South Jersey feed of Reddit. He says on October 30th, okay, it's the 6th of November now. Elizabeth F. Moore School, located in Cumberland County in New Jersey State, police received multiple anonymous tips in reference to an alarming post seen on the telephone encrypted texting application Telegram. So there was a Telegram feed, a Telegram thread with over 1,000 followers of the thread. And the name of this thread is Wolf Pissy Play. Why is that allowed to exist? I don't know. But if I'm a cop in that town, if I'm one of these sexual assault detectives, I'd be up on all of these threads. You should be scouring the interwebs. Unfortunately, that's your job. That's the price that you have to pay. And it's sickening and it sucks. But you should be on all of these threads because you know that it probably, if not half, but 75% of the weirdos in Wolf Pissy Play are deviant criminals. Wolf Pissy Play. What? I don't know. It goes on in this article to say that the police officers, detectives received a flash drive of the saved videos, the posts from the anonymous reporting party. I don't know, we're going to call this guy a hero or not. I'm not about to call some guy in Wolf Pissy Play thread a hero, but at least this deviant had some sort of a boundary. He gives the detectives a flash drive, 23 screenshots of Giovanni Impellizzeri's post, 9 videos posted by Impellizzeri, and the various screenshots posted by him detailed that he wiped some of the utensils that they used to cook on his dick and his ass. He put it where he found them so they could use them to cook for the kids tomorrow. I pissed in their mixing bowls and I put it back on the shelf. Quote, I decided to rip a hole in the beanbag in the library here at the school and I pissed in it. Had me so effing horny. I started humping the fuck out of one of their pillows. I went and sprayed bleach on the food they're going to serve on Monday. The more eviler and fucked up, the better. I sure hope they get sick. That is my plan. They had taco meat before and I put some poop in there and I mixed it in and they ate that shit right up. This was given to the officers and it took them one day to decipher it. On the next day, they made the arrest, and it wasn't until the following Monday that they have allowed parents, that they informed parents on what was going on this. I'm telling you right now, from a law enforcement perspective, I'm the detective. I don't care about the I do care about the investigation, but somebody needs to know immediately that this is going on, and they need to shut it down. Shut the school down. On Thursday, the school should have been shut down. There should have been no school on Friday. Are you kidding me? I don't care if it's an allegation. I don't care if you all have the evidence yet. If somebody is alleging that they pooped in the kids' taco meat, that they stuck ladles up their a-holes, up their anuses, then you stop it. You shut it down now. Those kids should not have gone to school at all on Friday. They shouldn't be going to school on Monday or the whole next week, for that matter. There should be a whole COVID-style decon going on in that school. And instead, the school puts out a robo message, from what I've read, on the following Monday that very kind of sugar-coated what happened, almost to the effect of the janitor is accused of contaminating food in the New Jersey schools, not telling these parents what exactly happened. One of the parents said, I had no idea it was going to be to this extent. I'm freaking out right now. I have to take my kid and get him a whole workup done medically because I don't know what he has ingested. Has he ingested bleach? Poop? I mean, the fact that the parents weren't notified by this guy, if you're a public school parent, you should be going down to your school board right now and asking, what is your protocol if something like this happens? Sorry, there's a fly flying around. I left the doors open because it's so pretty here in North Carolina. It's just a beautiful day, and I got a couple of flies flying around in here. The Cumberland County Health Department said it's working with the school to ensure food prep areas, serving utensils, and all areas have been properly sanitized and tampered products have been discarded. They're also trying to figure out if this asshole has any STDs or any kind of diseases. Here's the thing. Why, when you become an officer, when you become a police officer, when I became a police officer, I had a very invasive, a very intrusive background check, a polygraph where they asked me all the questions about my sexual past, my drug history, all of the things. And then a year went by because there was a hiring freeze back then, and they had to do the polygraph again because it expired a year later. And I had to go through the whole rigmarole again of asking very uncomfortable questions. But they do this because not only, one, do they want to find out what your past is, but two, they want to see how you react to very uncomfortable and stressful questions and situations. They try to keyhole you into what drugs you've taken, or have you ever stolen anything, not even an eraser or a pencil. I find that hard to believe, Mr. Tanzi, that you haven't even taken a paperclip. They stress you out a little bit. They put the pressure on you. They want to see how you act. They don't do that for teachers. And you can't give me the argument that they don't get paid enough. The cops don't get paid enough either. Cops get this every single day. Teachers experience it maybe once a week now. Unfortunately, once a month they have some kind of critical incident. Cops have like 15 critical incidents a day in some of the bigger cities. I want my teachers to be, I want their background checks to be almost as intense, if not more intense, than a police officer. Because these teachers are around these students all day long. And now you've got a janitor coming into the hallways who's on Wolf Pissy Play, who I guarantee you had so many indicators that he was a deviant beforehand. The parents couldn't call. His parents didn't fucking know. I find it hard to believe. If I got a fucked up child, I have 5 kids. If one of them is messed up and I know that he's messed up and he gets a job at the school as a janitor, I would call the school myself and say, listen, I don't know that you should have hired my kid. He's kind of a fucking creep. We're working on it, but I don't think it's appropriate that you hire him. He didn't have one. There wasn't one guy in the community that said, Giovanni? What? He's working with the kids at the school? Giovanni was at the fucking glory hole last week. Nobody? Nobody wanted to protect the kids in this situation. And then on top of that, the school board wants to sugarcoat it. If I'm the parent, I want to know that this man put his asshole on the hot dog buns, that he shit in the chili taco meat that my kids were going to consume. I would want to know. I would want to know. I would say that I need to know the extent of this, not some stupid robocall. I want a detailed email like this Reddit thread where it goes into painstaking detail on what kind of dirtbag my kids were subjected to. And I want to learn as much from this, and I want to have school board meetings immediately. We're going to discuss this in an open forum immediately. I know that you're enraged. I know that you're upset. We're upset too. Come on in. We're all going to talk about it. We're going to figure out how to stop this going forward. There should be a witch hunt for deviants. Scour the OnlyFanses and the Reddits and all the things to see what other teachers are sexual deviants inside of the school so that we can protect our children from them. You can't be a sexual deviant and be a cop. I know a lot of them are, but if it gets found out, you're not a cop anymore. But I'd also argue that cops aren't surrounded all day by children. School teachers are. The most vulnerable people. I always say that you would never fish in a pond that you knew there weren't any fish in. It's same when these pedos, they're always going to find jobs where there's a target-rich environment. Schools, Boy Scouts, youth, churches. I've always said it. When you're sitting in church, it shouldn't be, I wonder if there's a pedo in this church. It should be, there is a pedo in this church. I wonder who it is. Because that's where they go to target folks, to target their predators. They go to establishments like that because they can get in there and there are vulnerable human beings. It's a target, it's a pond full of a luscious bass for them. If I'm a parent, I listen, I am a parent of 5. Thank God I homeschool. But if I'm in New Jersey, I'm getting my kids the fuck out of that school system. I'm getting them out. This guy, this, I don't even want to say his name, but it's in Pellizzeri. 3rd degree aggravated assault, tampering with food products, endangering the welfare of a child, attempted endangering welfare of a child, 2nd degree charge, official misconduct. And listen, the charging language, your hands are going to be tied on this. He didn't use a weapon. I think we can argue that great bodily harm was done. We don't know. We don't know what kind of diseases this guy have. I would say that there is definitely, if anything, that we have emotional damage. But again, the way the charging language reads, that's all 3rd degree. So I hope that we put this guy's picture out there, and I hope that while he's sitting in jail, that somebody gets wind of it and they know what kind of atrocities this man did. I mean, listen, look at these pictures that I'm putting up here. You're going to hire this guy without a background check? Come on. If there was an elevator and a lion was on the elevator and the doors open, there's a fucking lion on the elevator with some dude that's got a leash on the lion, but it has no muzzle guard. You're not going to get on the elevator, even if the guy says, it's just a lion. He's fine. He's never bitten anybody ever. Just come on, get on the elevator. No, I'll pass. I'll wait for the next one. That's what this guy is the lion. You could, if the doors open like that and you're a young female and that's what you got is this guy with the mascara on his little juggy fish and his little, frilly cell phone. You know this guy's a deviant, right? I'll wait for the next elevator. I'll wait for the next ride up. I mean, this guy absolutely looks like a predator. Some of you guys are going to be mad at that, but listen, I'll protect my kids at all costs. If a guy looks like a predator, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt around my children. No, sir. No, sir. For you parents that just let your kids go spend the night and you don't know the parents. We got to do a better job protecting these kids, not just from fires in schools, but from sexual predators. Every day I turn on the news and there's a new sexual predator. It's just some chick, some guy. I don't know. This is crossing the line, though. And the fact that we're not enraged about it, the fact that the headlines are as greased over as they are, sugar-coated as they are, that's disgusting. Everybody should know what a fucking monster this is, and we should all be watching out for the wolf pissy players. Because they don't just stop at wolf pussy play. They don't just stop at these little glory hole attractions and these 24-hour sex clubs. They don't just stop there. They need more and more and more. And it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And listen, I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to do those things, but they should not allowed to be working in the school system. They should not be allowed to work in and around children, period. Let me know what you think in the chats. I'll tell you what, though, this man defiles my pillow, my ghost bed pillow, ghostbed.com/Wolfpack, 50% off right now. This man allegedly defiled a pillow, a safe pillow in a library. I don't even know what that means, but he defiled it by putting his liquids onto the pillow after masturbating. If he did that to my ghost bed pillow, boy, we're going to fight. We are going to fight. And right now, before the holidays even getting started, Ghost Bed's coming out of the gate with 50% off of their pillows, their cooling sheets, their mattresses. These are beds made in the good old USA. We love Ghost Bed. They've been a loyal sponsor of my show for almost 3 years now. Head over to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack and get you sleep so good, it's scary. I hope you're pissed, New Jersey. I'm telling you right now. And if you're not in New Jersey, I hope that you talk to your school board electorates, whatever you want to call them, I'm a C- student at best. But I would go to the school board if my kid was in public school. I said, "What's your plan for this? What kind of video surveillance do we have in the cafeteria?" I'd want to know. And I'd want to know a lot sooner than 3 or 4 days. Tell me what you guys think of the thought. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be live tonight with Uncuffed, J. Darrell White, former cop, now comedian, going over all the society and culture, pop culture news tonight. And then we have True Crime with former officer, now true crime specialist, Kendra J. Rama. And of course, political news on Wednesday. And Friday, we got our big case breakdowns, and we got our dispatch stuff on Thursdays. Failure to Stop podcast channel, the #1 channel where law enforcement goes to be informed and entertained, not just law enforcement, but first responders and those who support us. So if you do want to support us, hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, guys, guns up. Giddy up.